What's up guys, my name is Pro and I'm going to be giving you the key to escaping the mid game and making your way to late game in Old School RuneScape. By setting you up with all of the top goals to complete, you will be amazed at how far you've come after doing exactly what's in this video. Escaping the mid game in Old School RuneScape is a topic that is talked about by many people, and I want to give my opinion on it, my way of escaping the mid game in Old School RuneScape. First off, depending on where you are, I would assume you know a good bit about the game, so the methods and things I'm going to be talking about are not entirely new. If you're watching this, it's because you want to make your way to high-end raids, to high-end bosses, and even skilling. One of the best things that I can talk about, in my opinion, is that you should be setting goals, no matter where you are in the game. Let's say you want to get to Vorkath, one of the bosses you encounter later on in the game. Well, you need to do the Elf quest, Dragon Slayer 2, and many more quests, as well as get many different stats up to the required level. Now that seems like a lot to do, but if you just make a list of all the quests you need and all the skills and so on, you can attack each one of those and make it its own goal. I would start out by saying, okay, I have 3 hours I can play every other day. So that being a known fact, I can say during those 3 hours when I can play, I want to complete this quest and train this skill. Over time, you will get the requirements you need to do the main quest you set out to do, and then finally the boss. So yes, goal setting is very important because you need to know what goals you're going for, the reason behind why you're training agility for 20 hours, and that links into your life whenever you get good at it. Like whenever you're working or have a big goal you want to achieve in real life, you can apply the goal setting that you use in Old School RuneScape to make it a lot easier on yourself. For me, I would work on the hardest quests in the game and figure out what you need to complete each quest, then make a list in what order you want to complete those quests. So the hardest quests in the game are going to have many quests that you have to do before that hard quest. So you can make a list of like, okay, I'm going to do this quest and I'm going to train this skill. And then the next day I play, I'm going to do this quest because I know it's a little longer. Anyway, second, once you have done a lot of the harder quests, you can do the same thing for your diaries. I would pick one of the diaries and get as far as you can in the one that you pick, and then going to the next and then doing the same thing all the way down the list. For me, I started off getting all of my diaries done up to hard, and then making a list of all the quests and skills I would need for each of the elite diaries, and then going and completing all the requirements for one elite diary, completing the elite diary, and then moving on to the next elite diary. Some of the diaries you may be close to finishing, which I would try to knock out those first, and then some you may have none of the requirements, which I would slowly over time work my way up in getting those requirements, which would be skills or a bunch of quests. Now, whenever you're doing the diaries, the Lumbridge Elite Diary will be one that you will need a quest cape to complete. And if you're like me and you want to do like a special thing for your quest cape, the Lumbridge Elite Diary requires you to use the quest cape emote. So I'm saving the diary as my last diary to complete. That way I can have the quest cape and all the elite diaries done at the same time to get, just like a massive dopamine rush. You could also be like me and honestly not like doing quests and diaries all that much until I learned about all the crazy good rewards you can get from them. So quests give me massive advantages like Desert Treasure giving you Ancients or Lunar Diplomacy giving you lunar spells that you will use all the time and make your life in Old School that much easier. The same goes for the diaries. Some diaries give you amazing items like the Bone Crusher that will automatically bury bones that drop from monsters, with the hard diary giving you 50% of the XP and elite giving you 100% of the XP for the buried bones. The diaries will give you useful things that aren't just items, like it will increase the chance of pickpocketing knights in Ardoin, and the higher the tier, the more percentage it will go up. Or, one of my favorites, you can do the Mortania Hard Diary and have the medium combat achievements done to unlock the Barrow's prayer drain, it will stop the prayer drain from happening. So you can just go to Barrows and not have prayer drain at all, which is massive if you're on a Barrows grind to find like a specific item, or if you're an Iron Man, that helps a lot. So as you can see, it's just not a good idea to play Old School RuneScape without having any intention of doing all of the diaries and quests and like everything the game has to offer, just because of all the insane rewards and perks that it can give you. Also, you have to realize that gear upgrades are a major part of progressing your account, but you also have to figure out what kind of gear is going to give you the most benefits for your money. Like upgrading from a magic bow to a blowpipe is a massive upgrade, and it doesn't cost a whole lot for the blowpipe to make that upgrade and get that massive benefit. But compared to upgrading from like Bandos to Torva, it is a big upgrade, but it's not as massive and out of this world as like the magic bow to the blowpipe. And I'm also considering how much it costs. So the upgrade from Bandos to Torva is super expensive, but you don't get that much of a benefit. So I would definitely go with other things than that. And if you're still trying to get like a Fang or a Necklace of Anguish, then I would prioritize getting those over spending a lot on upgrading something that's not really going to be that powerful. A good comparison would be the T-bow and the Bofa. The T-bow is better than the Bofa, but the Bofa is a fraction of the price. And yes, the T-bow is better, but it's not like astronomically better. You would do well getting a Bofa set and the crystal armor and the other upgrades to your gear than going all out and just buying a T-bow. That being said, I want to talk about the Bofa, or the Bow of Faridenin. The Bofa and Crystal Armor set is one of the best things that you can get for the price that will make your PVM experience so much quicker and easier. It's one of the best upgrades you can make on your account besides the Twisted Bow or like the Tumican Shadow. We are talking massive upgrades for Zulrah, Muspa, Tombs of Amasket, and the other raids. Or anything you do with range basically, or have range switches. It happens a lot, so the buff is very, very useful. Once you reach the point of having like 80 in every skill, you're going to get close to unlocking basically the training method you will use all the way to 99 for almost every skill, or at least for a long time until you hit your 90s. This will be different for everyone depending on how you like to play. You could be full focus doing tick manipulation methods when you're playing, or have a slow chill method where you only click once every few minutes and do something on the other monitor. But by this time in your account, you will have most of these methods down, and you might have to change it up a little bit before 99, but for the most part, it's pretty set. You know what you're doing and you're proficient at it. Another very important unlock for your account is going to be the prayers you have to buy and get as a drop to use, Those are going to be Rigor and Augury, and they're going to be the range and mage prayer. So Rigor is around 40 mil right now. You will need 74 prayer to use it. With Augury, it is about 3.5 mil, and you will need level 77 prayer to use it. I would go ahead and get Augury whenever you can, and then I would save up for Rigor. They're actually very important. Now that you combine Rigor with the Bofa, and you have yourself a really deadly setup. I know it's a lot, but it will be so helpful in the long run considering all the bosses that you're going to use range with. Another really good thing to do is get your construction up and make your player-owned house a place you're going to spend a lot of time, instead of just a scary log cabin on a green square. I would say that the things you're going to want to work towards in your player-owned house is the fairy ring, the spirit tree, the jewelry box, an altar, and the pool. With construction, you can boost 8 levels for most things unless it's like farming related. You can do this with a stew boost of +5 and then a crystal saw having a boost of +3. Both of those combined equaling +8. At 85 construction, you can build a fairy ring. You cannot use a crystal saw to boost this, but you can use the stew. Later on at level 95, you can get a fairy ring and a spirit tree combined, which is pretty cool. Spirit trees will require 75 construction and 83 farming, and a watering can. Both skills require are boostable, however the crystal saw will not work. At level 81, you can get a basic jewelry box, and at 91, you can get the ornate jewelry box that has all the teleport spells. This is boostable with a stew and a saw. At level 80, you will be able to build a dark altar, which will allow you to switch between ancient magic and the standard spellbook, or you can build it at level 75 if you're using the boost from the crystal saw. The achievement gallery room is needed to build the altar and will require level 80, or if you want to go big, you can get the occult altar, which lets you switch between all the different spellbooks. At 85, you can start with the fancy rejuvenation pool, and this will do everything an ornate rejuvenation pool will do, but it doesn't restore your health. Then you're going to want to work your way up to the ornate pool at level 90. This is also boostable with a stew and a saw. At level 72, you can get a portal nexus chamber, which will give you the condensed teleports in the one portal. And you can also store your dig site pendant and Zarek's talisman. The best way to get the construction level for all of this is going to be to build mahogany tables over and over and over. Or if you want to save money or gold, you can do mahogany homes. They are super simple. As long as you have the teleports and the RuneLight plugin, you're golden. I would say that building tables, you don't have to pay attention as much, and for the homes, you will have to pay attention a lot more, but you're saving a lot of planks and GP. Combat achievements are another big part of Old School RuneScape and something you're going to need to get out of mid-game. With the new points and combat system, the medium tier of combat achievements are very easy to obtain, and if you look on the wiki, we have a lot of perks from just doing that. One of those things being a cannon upgrade, and it will hold more cannonballs. Each tier that you go up in the combat achievements, you will be able to hold more cannonballs, which is that's really neat. If you haven't gotten these items yet, I need you to just stop what you're doing right now and go get these items. Right now, just stop and go get the items. And while you're getting these items, watch some more of my videos and maybe my reward lock series, then come back and watch this whole video over again. Okay, so you're probably going to have these already, but if you don't, go get them. All right, so the Dragon Defender, that's number 1. Ava's Assembler is number 2. Slayer Helm, number 3. Imbued God Cape, number 4. The Arc Light, number 5, the Fighter Torso, number 6, and probably the most important is you're going to want Elite Void, and that is going to be number 7. When you're starting out, Elite Void is one of the best things you can get. It's one of your best friends. Instead of bringing 12 pieces of gear doing crazy switches, you could just switch the helmets and the weapons. It's super good for learning and best in slot for some places, especially raids. You should probably think seriously about picking a raid to do. I would just say go for Tombs of a Masket, TOA, because they made it so that regular players could get into raiding. That's basically what TOA was made for. You just have invocations, which make the raid harder, and then once you put on some invocations and you're able to clear it, it gets too easy. You put on more invocations, and this will give you an improved drop chance at the end of the raid whenever you get your loot. So it'll give you an improved drop chance of getting a purple. And a purple is whenever you get a very expensive item or a rare item. You're probably never gonna get enough GP if you don't raid. So I would definitely think about it. If you're wanting max gear, the only way you're gonna afford it is by killing green dragons for 3 years or running like a green dragon bot farm or something. And I would much rather do raids every now and again and gamble my life away doing that to get a big glowing purple light above a chest, kind of like a lottery winner. If you're doing TOA, you will have the chance of getting any piece of Missouri armor or even the Tumican Shadow, the best mage weapon in the game right now. A really good goal I would go for would be, just to prove it to yourself, is to get a 99 in any skill. Just pick a skill and see what it's like. Go ahead and just pick one and get a skill cape. It's a big deal whenever you get your first one, and it makes you seem like you know what you're in for, and you know what it's like getting to 99. Like, you know what it's like going through that journey. It's going to be different on all different skills, but at least you have an idea of what it's like whenever you're going for 99. And I think that is about it. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, my name is Pro, and we will see you in the next video. Hope you guys get out of mid game, because I'm right there with you, and I'm going to be doing the same things. Now, if you want to see another video of me getting 1 KC Bandos Tacits, click on this right here.